Hello again, my friends, and you are my friends, and welcome to your second away day guide of the 22-23 season. I'm, of course, the Gov here to help you get all the information you need to know ahead of our visit to the Pirelli Stadium next Tuesday, to take on Burton Albion. I was in Burton recently myself. My suggestion, don't go. But don't take me at my word. You can go and find out yourselves. We are going to cover all manner of things. If you are new to the channel, if you've never seen an away day guide before, or maybe you've just forgotten, we're going to cover where to drink, where to park, how to get there, the trains, the stadium, past players. We're going to cover that as well. All sorts going on in our away day guide tonight. And the first thing I have to say is that Amy Downs, our traditional host of the show, is not here this evening. Oh, but don't feel too sad for her. No. She's on holiday. So she is sunning herself on the Costa del Yarmouth. And long may she actually enjoy it and have a fantastic holiday. So subbing in this evening for our half an hour together is a man making his first start as a contributor. Can it go Grant Ward level of debuts, or will it be more Marco Holster's ITFC Town career? It is, of course, the absolute legend that is the one, the only, Mr. Colin Plumb. Colin, how are you, sir?
I'm absolutely fine, Martin. I've had a decent day of it, in Costa del Great Wellnathan.
Absolutely
scintillant here, as it is everywhere. But no, it's
beautiful.
I had a good day.
Good man. Look, we won't mention obviously last night, because when people are watching this, it could be many days removed. But one thing I will ask you is, before we went live tonight, you said something to me that I wasn't expecting you to say, Go, and that was, you're a little bit out of your comfort zone.
A little bit, yeah. I'll give Amy a text this morning. I said to her, don't worry, I'm not after your job. I'm just subbing for you, dear. And I know I love Amy. She knows that, and I'll try. Like I said in the text to her, I'll try and do as best as I can for her and for yourself. And
I'm sure you will do her proud.
Yeah, and yeah. So I'm like you. I just hope she continues to have a lovely holiday.
Absolutely. Now we're going to go around the various topics, as I mentioned at the top of the show. Go now. First of all, have you? I can't imagine you haven't, but have you been to the Pirelli Stadium in Burton?
I have been to the Pirelli Stadium in Burton. It's quite a while ago now. It was. I've only been there once. I'll tell you, God's honest truth. Rich knows that. I went the year that when Selena chucked his shirt in the seats.
The free kick. Was that was the free kick? Yeah.
Yeah, I wasn't actually in the seats. I was in the terrace behind the goal, and that is the only time I've been to the Pirelli. But it's it's one of those typical grounds, one of those new grounds that kind of just like threw up, so to speak. You know what I mean? It's kind of all right, but it's right beside the tyre place there, in Burton. But yeah, it is what it is, and like we all say about Division 1 clubs and whatever and stadiums, it is what it is. But yeah, they're a decent little club. That's what I'd say.
Yeah, well. Yeah, that's your opinion. You're all entitled to it. The Cruncher says much better with someone who actually goes to away days. Naughty Crunch, naughty. But for those that perhaps haven't been to Burton, don't know about Burton, or just want to see the feature, here of course is our funky fact.
Let me tell you about the place we're at.
Pirelli Stadium, Princess Way. Burton-upon-Trent is famous for its brewing. Pirelli Stadium has a capacity of 6,912. The ground was opened in 2005. Ubercorn's Funky Facts on the show. Open in 2005, but on the site of the old stadium, or very nearby to the old stadium, which is now housing apparently. Did you know that?
Yes, I do. Yeah, it's next to what they call used to be called Eaton Park. They played at another ground. I can't remember. Played at another ground before that, but that's going right back. But yeah, Eaton Park used to be their former ground, and look, you're absolutely right. It is now a housing estate. But actually, just over the road, people might want to take this on board. Just literally over the road from the ground, there is a large car. I'll go on about Parker. Well, one or two places. There is a large car park at the ground.
There is £5 a car.
£5 to park, but also right out across the road from the ground there. If anybody needs any money or anything, there is a ATM immediately right across the road at the co-op, the cooperative store. You can go over there and get yourself some money if you need
always
some money.
Needed, particularly in this day and age where some machines do take a card, some don't. We've got, so there on the screen right now is all your car parking facilities around the ground. Go quite a few, as you will see. So, you know, some will get busier than others. Obviously, I wouldn't imagine parking at the Queen's Hospital is advisable, but Google doesn't evidently tell you that. But you've got Newton Park, Burton Place, loads of car parking. Obviously, it'll be a Tuesday night, so do check the car park boards, because some car parks don't charge after a certain time, Goat. So well worth double reading the boards as it were. But I would park as close as I possibly could.
Also, Gov, I'd just like to throw one in that Matt Stannard and Rich put me on to the other day, is the Weybridge Inn, which is 15 minutes walk from the ground. The landlord there is a Richard Muir, who's a town fan, and it's £3 to park at the pub. And that's the Weybridge Inn. Which is only, like I say,
Inn.
Yeah, 15 minutes walk from the ground.
I think, if I'm right in thinking, last year I think Away Day Beers did a tap takeover. It may have been there. Cruncher, if he's in the chat, will let us know. But I've got the Weybridge Inn. There it is on the screen. Directions. Let's go to Burton FC. So if you're watching on YouTube, you better see this happen. There's Burton. 5 minutes via the car. 26 it says via walking, but depends on how quickly you want to walk. But there is the Weybridge Inn. Hang about. I literally stayed in the Ibis last week. I was across the road from it. I didn't realise. Happy days. Oh, if I'd known that, I'd have gone there for dinner.
You could have popped in and seen Mr. Muir.
I could have done. We could have talked about good times, couldn't we?
Absolutely.
You know, good times and taking 3 points hopefully off Burton. But as you can see, the thing with Burton I established last week, Goat, was it is all like it's obviously like Ipswich Town. It's a town, so it's all within sort of distance. You literally can see the stadium lights. As you can see from the map, it's a very straight route from the Weybridge Inn. I'd also park there because, as you say, £3. But if I remember rightly, now don't quote me, because if you get a ticket, it ain't my fault. But I'm sure I didn't pay a penny after 8 p.m. Now, obviously, 7:45 kickoff. Yeah, you'd be testing the waters of how good there. But I didn't see a traffic warden all night long. That's all I'm going to say.
Yeah, he'd be. Yeah, if you can like dodge the bullet, so to speak.
Well, I wouldn't suggest it, but equally, it's if you roll the dice and you get double ace, then that's entirely down to yourselves. But as you can see, loads of car parking around the ground. The thing is, Goat, you got to get there first. How would you, a seasoned away dayer on a Tuesday night, how would you go about getting to Burton first and foremost? Are you our first person to say get the club coach? Because we've never had that on the away day guide yet.
Well, I am actually going on the coach on Tuesday, because I'm making use of my my gold card, you know, and you can get the half price coach, you know. So so I'm going on the coach, and obviously that takes you right right outside the ground. And I was speaking to Helen, who's one of the stewards on the coach on Saturday, and we're hoping to be there for 5:30 on because it's leaving Portman Road at 1:15, picking up at Bury St Edmunds where I get on at 1:45, and hopefully we should be at Burton at 5:30, which is fantastic, which gives me a time to have a couple of pints for a change. You know, I'm really pleased about that. Look, I never want 7 or 8 pints, but I like having a pint or two with Rich and
absolutely,
and loads of other people, you know, like Phil Essex, you know, people like that who go away all the time, and there's loads of people I know, and I just, even if I have the pint in the pub, you know, with my friends, it's part of my away day, Martin, you know.
And there's absolutely nothing wrong with that. It's a part of many people's away days, and we have got a pub guide, or I say a pub guide, but we'll mention a couple of drinking establishments. Obviously, the Weybridge Inn is already one we've mentioned in just a momento. But I'm just looking at the map here, and I'll bring the map onto the screen for you as well. I've put in from our football club, so Portman Road to Burton's football club, to arrive by 6:30 on Tuesday. You want to be leaving at about 2:50. So, you know, adjust that accordingly as to where you are from Portman Road, but about 10 to 3 o'clock time. And I can tell you from habit, from memory, really, go that it's a ball lake of a drive. Whether you go the M6 or the M1, you know, on the way home, for example, last week I had the A14 shut because of a fire that needed some carriage work repairs. It's a real tough drive. I take my hat off to those that are going, but 3 o'clock leaving, it's not the earliest away day that you have to leave for.
No, like I say, and also, excuse me, I clapped my hands to the town fans again, because I don't know exactly what it is now, but I was speaking to Helen, I said, on the coach, and I was asking her on Saturday morning. I said I hadn't heard how many tickets we'd sold. Excuse me, out of the 1,800 that we got allocated, and she said we'd sold between 1,300 and 1,400, and for a Tuesday night, for a travel which is probably just over, I don't know, about 120 miles, something like that. I'll tell you what, you've got to applaud that, Martin. You've got to applaud that.
Yeah, no, you have absolutely. I would agree 110%. You know, particularly as it's a midweek. You know, it's a Saturday game. We'd be taking even more. We know that. We always travel in good numbers as a football club.
Yeah. But yeah, you got to take your hat off to the town fans. I'll tell you what, I actually bumped into a Leeds fan today who I know really well, Kevin, and he you know, he don't really particularly like town, but I said to him about the amount we take away now, and he said, yeah, it's good, really, really good. I'll tell you, we're getting a good reputation as regards the numbers we take away now. You know, really, by a lot of clubs.
Absolutely. There is obviously a way you can get there via RAL. There's 3 methods. The quickest route via RAL would be from Ipswich into London Liverpool Street, and then we're going to get the Metropolitan tube line, and then we're going to get the train out of London that will take you all the way to Derby, so via Kettering, Leicester, Loughborough, Derby, and then from Derby you're talking about the train from Derby to Burton, which isn't actually that far. Go there, it is. Look,
yeah.
So you can get there. I mean, you know, again, it's going to be slightly longer. You're leaving at midday for that one, but you could enjoy a couple of more pints, obviously, if you're going by the train. But there is that route, so it's a well-connected away day, unlike the one you did last week.
Oh God, yeah, it was complete contrast. You know, I mean, I got just a little bit of information about the station. Not that I've been there on the train, but I did find it out.
Oh, good. No, go for it.
The station's about, according to what I read, the station's about 25 minutes walk to the ground. Or if you would prefer to get a taxi, there's a taxi rank at the station.
There is. I've seen that.
It's £6 to the stadium, which is not bad. I mean, that's only just over a price of a pint in a fan zone.
Yeah, absolutely.
So,
yeah,
looking at it like that, you know. So
that is good knowledge, Goat. Thank you for bringing that one up. That's not. I'm not a taxi. Where's the last time you got a taxi?
Sorry?
When's the last time you got a taxi?
God dear, long time ago. When I probably went with my mum to take her up the opticians. Do you know what? My mum lives just off St Andrew Street in Bury. This just give you some idea when people say about how much things are these days, you know, as regards
Yeah.
say our coach travel and things like that. My mum she's got really bad disability now, and when she goes to the opticians, it's literally about 800 yards from her house to Bury Town Centre and back. Right, she obviously has to get a disability taxi, you know, to get the chair in. It costs her £20 to do about 1,600 yards from her house to back.
Cool.
£20.
That's
by a taxi.
See, I've not had a taxi in years because of the cost. I'll be honest.
But that kind of puts into perspective, you know, when like, you know, like our coach travel, like this week to, the following week to Shrewsbury, I think for an adult is about £24 or something like that. So when you think, you know, it's not bad when you go to Shrewsbury and back for about 24, 25 quid. My mum's like being charged 20 quid to go about 1,600 yards. It's ridiculous. But there you go. It
is. Mike Wood, if you go by train, you have to stay over. Well, Mike, you would, but it depends on how hardcore you are. I've just had a look on the map. You literally could be back in Ipswich for 8:15. So if you worked in Ipswich, 9 a.m. start, you'd leave Burton at 11:20 and you wouldn't get back to Ipswich until 8:15 the next morning. Depends how hardcore you are, Goat. It's doable. It's doable. You know, I've stayed at a train station many a time, but I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't suggest it. I wouldn't say do it.
I love what you say about, you know, hardcore, old school. I'm sure several other people, including our dear friend, you know, your co-host, has done it on many occasions. I've actually done Torquay and Exeter in the League Cup a few years ago now. I've done Torquay and Exeter away on a Tuesday night. And that was when I was at the post office and I had to be in at work at 5:30. I've got back on the Angel Hill from Torquay about 2:30 in the morning. I've literally gone home, got changed, and gone straight to work.
Yeah,
but yeah,
I wouldn't suggest it. Yeah, it's not something I would say to do. I would strongly advise against it. But Matt Stannard, sleeping bag in your rucksack, find a cheeky bench. I would just go to the Ibis Hotel. I mean, the internet wasn't too great when I stayed there, but it was a fairly comfortable budget hotel. Did the trick, and then get the train home the next day. Barrow away. It was a late and lonely one, says Matt Stannard. There you go. You see, I think the away day can be a late and lonely affair from time to time. It's always harder if you lose. It's never hard if you win. But if you go and you watch your team lose, I mean, I remember going to Crystal Palace, which admittedly is much closer to Burton, on a Tuesday night, and we got hammered 5-0. We got absolutely fucking wiped the floor with by Palace. We were just not at it at all. And that was the longest trip I've ever been on in my life. Not for distance, for leaving the ground and having been beaten 5-0 and getting home.
I get that, Gov. I'll tell you what, there's nothing worse. Without trying to reveal too much what will be coming up, hopefully by Christmas or whatever. I'll always remember me and my dad become one of the, if not the worst coach journey I ever had home. And that was from London, from Stamford Bridge in 75, where we just lost a semi-final. And I literally only just got to go like from London back home, you know. And I'll tell you what, that seemed like a trip from St James's Park, that did, honestly. Yeah. Because of, you know, who we'd lost to, an average West Ham and an FA Cup semi-final. And that would have been our first FA Cup final. I get that, Gov. I mean, there's defeats and there's defeats, and I'll tell you what, there's journeys home and there's horrible journeys home, and absolutely. I don't admit that I cried. I never thought. See, you know, you don't think along the lines 2 or 3 years later you're going to be lifting the FA Cup, do you? You just don't.
Well, no, of course not. No, 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 no.
know,
You don't know. You know, Harry hindsight is a wonderful thing, but we don't
absolutely.
have that hindsight at the time, do we? Now, when you get to Burton, regardless if you go by car or by train or however you get there, you're going to probably want to eat or drink. So at the ground, before the goat tells us what there is to eat and drink around the stadium, at the ground, a pint of Aspalls is £4.20. A pint of beer is £3.90. A burger starts from £3.20. These aren't too bad prices compared to what you've seen recently with West Ham on the internet. But if you're more of a soft drink fan like me, £2.20 for a soft drink, £2 for a hot drink, confectionery from £1.20. Chip butty, go. Ever fancy a chip butty away from home? £3?
I love it. Love a chip butty. But yeah, you go on to the food thing. Yeah, there's some quirky things there, as we say. You can have faggots and mushy peas.
Yeah, double faggot and peas, £4.50. Second potato with one filling, £3. All on their website. Burton have put together a really snazzy, I'll put it on the screen, a really snazzy guide for the away fans. So check it out. Well worth looking at. Aspalls. I was surprised they had Aspalls on tap though. Is it real, Matt Dunham says, are it cheap? I couldn't tell you. I've never been to Burton for a football match, so I don't know. Alternatively, around the ground, what is there to have go? I could tell you from my experience, there's a lovely Burger King on an industrial park where B&Q is. That's the best burgers I've ever had in my life. Don't know if I was particularly hungry or not, but it was sublime.
Yeah, well, I've got to admit, the one and only time I've been there, Gov, I went on the coach, and that was basically one of them where I more or less went straight in the ground, had a couple of pints in the ground. There is a place in there within the ground where a bar, you know, which has got TV screens and just show like highlights of stuff and all that, a bit of Sky Sports News, this kind of thing. But that's within the bar of the actual stadium, and like you quite rightly said, Gov, I mean the prices of beers, especially in there, are quite a bit cheaper than what we're paying just lately. So not that I'm not moaning, but they are cheaper. So you know, at least I'm
moaning. £2 last night I paid for a bottle of water at Portman Road. £2.
Yeah. I was reading the other day, Gov, actually, there's plans to have a 40-room hotel adjacent to the stadium, apparently, but that's not been started yet. But they're still waiting for permission to start. But they're thinking about putting a 40-room, which they're doing a lot of grounds now, I know. But planning to put a 40-room hotel near that stadium. So
nice. They want a decent football team first, don't they?
Well, I would have thought so, but yeah,
you know, which one goes in front of the other? But there we go. So that's eating. Obviously, you got actually, but you mentioned the bar there a second ago. Where that bar is, just opposite the bar, there's a whole row of restaurants, takeaways, like sort of peri-peri chickens, things like that. So if you're into that sort of food, you could go to the bar, have a couple of pints of, you know, whatever you want from that bar, and then you can go across the road for a chicken or whatever takeaway. So there are options. As I say, it's very much in the town, so you're not on the outskirts of no man's land, are you?
No, but going back to, because obviously it does resonate with a lot of supporters. There are other pubs. I don't want to really mention them too much because I'd like the boys to go to Richard's pub, but there are other pubs. There's a beach here. I will
just stress before you go any further, there is no payment taking place here. Well, certainly not in my direction. So we're not mentioning that bar and that bar only because of a partnership or whatnot. It's just because of word of mouth. Isn't that right, Goat?
Yeah, absolutely. But like I say, there are other places that you can park at different pubs, but I would rather people go to Richard's place, really, you know, because they seem to have had a good time there last time. I
They
believe,
certainly
you know.
seem to. Yeah, you're absolutely right. Yeah.
That's like,
There's a
you know,
Matt
we
Stannard.
can-
There's also Greg's up the road. Go.
well, it's fair enough.
That's your thing. That's your thing. I mean, not
Yeah,
not for
yeah.
me personally.
No.
Right. As we close, we do a little thing here, called
Yeah.
player connections. Right. Now I've got
Yeah.
11. I've got 11 players that have played for Ipswich and Burton. How many do you think you can guess? You can go all 11 if you like, or how many do you think you're going to guess? Whatever number you say, you have to guess. You know, have to get that number right.
I haven't got 11. I've got all my hands up. I ain't got 11. I'm letting people down here, but
That's
I've got
okay.
7.
All right, you've got 7. So you think you can name 7?
Yeah.
Fire away then. What have you got?
I've got Luke Varney, Reg to some people.
Luke Varney. Yeah, Luke Varney.
Darren Bent.
Yep, correct. Darren Bent.
Stephen Bywater.
Oh, yes. Famous for his punch up with Alex Bruce.
Josh Earl.
Josh Earl, correct. Yep, Joshua Earl.
Scott Fraser.
Oh, I've not got him on my list. Scott Fraser. Perfecto. I love that. Cool. Right.
Marcus Harness.
Marcus Harness. Yep, correct.
And Danny Ryder. And that's the only 7 I've got. Unfortunately,
okay. So this is a list that's not up to date. So here we go. Actually, do you know what? I won't reveal. I will not reveal. People in the chat, people watching on catch up, let us know how many of the player connections you can guess. There are many more to get, ranging from 1997 right through to 2013. I'll give you one. 97, 98 striker. Can you name him? Always loved a good hairdo.
Good hairdo?
Loved a good hairdo. Like nice bit of hair dye in there as well from time to time.
97, 98.
Got a son now that's quite good.
I can't think. 97.
David Johnson.
Who?
David Johnson.
Oh, crikey. Martin.
There you go. You see, loved the good pack of hairdo, didn't he?
Yeah, he certainly did. Yeah.
Green one week, red the next, blue the next one. Loved a bit. His hairdos were something to behold. Go on, go.
Okay, I've got something written down here. I just tried to put 1 or 2 other extra bits in. I've got the head-to-heads.
Oh, yes, please.
Ipswich have won 8.
Mm-hmm.
Burton have won 1. We've drawn 1. Goals for 18 against 6. We've won 4 times at Burton. We've won 4 times at Portman Road. The only loss at the Pirelli Stadium was in 2021, as we do know.
Yes, we do.
So in other words, Gov, not that I didn't go up there with confidence anyway, but we should go up there with tremendous confidence. They lost again last night, 2-0 in the League Cup.
I saw. Yes, I saw.
They've not. Look, I don't want to put the markers.
Then don't.
Well, I'm just going to say they haven't won a game, haven't drawn a game, they've lost every game, and they haven't scored a goal yet. But we've won 4 times at Burton. We won 4 times at the Pirelli. So, and we've won there 4 times out of 5. In other words, Martin. So
fair enough.
We've got to go there with some kind of confidence against a side that's lacking any kind of confidence whatsoever at the moment.
There we go. I'm looking forward to the game. I think it's one we can probably win. History, as you just said there, the history suggests we can.
Yeah.
Let's see what unfolds. But there you go. We've gone through your first away day guide. Did you enjoy it, Go?
I really, really, really did enjoy it.
So anything else you want to impart on the people before you go? Any more wisdom? Any more nuggets of information?
I'd just like to have a quick word about Richard Keogh. I'm not on Twitter. I'm glad I'm not on Twitter, really. I mean, I ain't got time for that crap. But, you know, well, it's not all crap, as I found out over the weekend. So let's get that in. But, you know, anybody who's kind of doubting that man, I watched his interview this afternoon. You know what? I found more than a bit of sincerity coming out of his voice, you know. And we all know, we've seen the picture of the very, very youth team that he was in, God knows how many years ago. Used to be a ball boy at Portman. His family, apparently, a lot of his family are Ipswich supporters. And he's come back home, so to speak, into Essex, and, you know, not far from, obviously, us. And I think, do you know what, Gav? I think there's a genuine, a real big likeness, you know, to
him,
be the club, and I sensed that from his voice. I thought that was good, really, really good.
Absolutely. We'll have more reactions to Richard Keogh signing in half an hour. 8:30 on Wednesday, the 10th of August, Talking Town's match day preview. We'll also got Colin from MK Duns. But for today's show, the Burton away day guide, he has been the wonderful stand-in GOAT. I'm sure he'll come back many times throughout the year. Well, I hope he will. But until then, safe trip, safe travels. Make sure your parking's correct, and enjoy yourselves. And come back with 3 wonderful points.
You make me smile when I think of you. If I get down low and I get blue, I can't get enough. Oh, yes, lover. You make me happy, I feel so fine. Oh, how I wish that you were mine. I can't get enough. Oh, yes, lover. Oh, please, lover. I woke up all soaked in sweat, weird chills running down my neck. I felt went crazy from just the thought of you. A long blonde hair.